And particularly being in Windsor, for me, she loved it here. She spent most of her time here. Showing you around today is very much a case I'm trying to make sure.
Hello, royal enthusiasts. Pull up a chair because we're about to dive into a moment that has palace corridors buzzing and the world beyond leaning in with bated breath. Imagine this, the sprawling, majestic grounds of Windsor Castle stretching under a crisp October sky, leaves turning shades of amber and gold, and the air carrying whispers of destiny. At the very heart of it, Prince William steps forward, not just as heir, but as the unchallenged steward of the monarchy's future, a figure whose every move hints at the careful orchestration of legacy and power. It's October 2025, and what unfolded just days ago feels like the opening scene of a new chapter in the timeless royal drama. William, radiating poise and quiet authority, was flanked by the elegant and steady presence of Catherine, a partner whose grace continues to anchor the family image. Together, they welcomed the Crown Prince of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al-Khaled Al-Hamed Al-Sabah, a meeting that was far more than a routine diplomatic engagement. This was William's moment of debut in a role that demands subtle command, a clear signal that the reins of influence are gradually transferring into steadier, younger hands ready to guide both tradition and change. For months, the atmosphere surrounding the monarchy has thickened with unspoken questions, whispers of speculation, and the quiet scrutiny of those watching every step. Yet on that day, amidst ceremonial protocol and measured smiles, William offered a glimpse of something more profound, a blend of authority, approachability, and strategic foresight that suggested the monarchy might be on the brink of a reinvention, one that balances heritage with a forward-looking vision. King Charles III, ever the resilient figurehead, has faced health challenges that no crown alone can shield against. From his ongoing cancer treatments to the careful, almost imperceptible delegation of royal duties, palace insiders have whispered about a soft transition, a phrase that has danced through tabloid headlines, royal commentary shows, and hushed late-night palace briefings alike. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, came this Windsor moment that caught everyone's attention. Prince William arrived not as a supporting actor in the royal narrative, but as the official host, commanding the stage, orchestrating protocol, and setting the tone with quiet authority. Beside him, Catherine shone with her usual radiance, a masterclass in poise, elegance, and understated power. On paper, it might have seemed like a routine royal event, but anyone looking closely could see the blueprint of tomorrow's reign taking shape, layer by subtle layer. What makes this moment resonate isn't simply the who or the where, it's the why pulsing beneath it all. Royal enthusiasts and watchers have been glued to every frame of the official Kensington Palace Instagram release, analysing each detail. William, clad in a tailored suit that radiated calm authority, extended a hand that went beyond formal greeting. It was a gesture of stewardship, a promise of guardianship for the crown's future. The Kuwaiti crown prince, a heavyweight in Gulf diplomacy, wasn't just another guest. His visit underscored Britain's pivotal role in an unpredictable global landscape, and it positioned William as the one now holding the gavel, guiding not only ceremony, but influence. And yet, the real spectacle didn't stop at the castle gates. Outside, behind the polished facades, whispers of palace intrigue, subtle power shifts, and the quiet forging of a new royal era promised fireworks that were only just beginning to ignite. Just hours later, a video surfaced from the couple themselves, raw, unfiltered, and impossible to ignore. In it, William and Catherine open up in ways that peel back the curtain on the shifting balance of power, dropping subtle hints that William's kingship isn't some distant, abstract dream. It's racing toward reality faster than anyone ever dared whisper. The tone is candid, almost intimate, revealing a side of the monarchy that rarely reaches public eyes. Before we plunge into the heart of this unfolding saga, take a moment to pause and let it sink in. This isn't idle speculation or palace rumour mill chatter. This is the monarchy in motion, adapting to a sovereign whose twilight years make it imperative that an heir rise fully formed, ready to claim the crown without hesitation. William isn't simply playing host or checking off ceremonial duties anymore. He is commanding the stage, asserting authority with precision and calm, while Catherine remains the unwavering co-star at his side, her presence a blend of grace, strength, and quiet command. Together, they project a vision of a monarchy not just surviving change, but actively shaping its next chapter. And as we dig deeper, you'll see how this single afternoon at Windsor, paired with that intimate video confession, isn't merely newsworthy. It's a signal, a harbinger of a new era, a glimpse of a crown being quietly, but decisively, passed into capable hands. A promise is being quietly etched into history, that the crown's next chapter will fuse steel-like resolve with moments of genuine, heartfelt vulnerability. Stick with us, because by the time this story unfolds, you'll feel the weight of that tiara pressing a little firmer on the horizon, a reminder that change is coming whether the world is ready or not. To truly feel the thunder of William's Windsor moment, we need to rewind, not just to last week, but to the seismic shifts that have paved this path. Let's flash back to early 2023, when the world held its collective breath for King Charles's coronation. It played out like a meticulously choreographed ballet, all glittering pomp and dazzling pageantry, masking subtle currents of frailty beneath. Even that night, William's speech at the coronation concert resonated far beyond the ceremonial fanfare. His words, a solemn pledge of unwavering service to the king, the country, and the entire Commonwealth, landed with the gravity of a vow renewed. But beneath the cheers and orchestrated applause, there was a quieter, more urgent subtext. Charles, at 74 when he ascended the throne, was far from the spry, fairy tale sovereign many had imagined. Every gesture, every smile, carried the subtle weight of age, responsibility, and the knowledge that the monarchy needed to prepare for the next act, one that William was already shaping with careful precision. King Charles's reign, distinguished by environmental crusades, quiet reforms, and careful modernization, has also been shadowed by whispers about his health, rumours that slowly grew from hushed murmurs into full-blown headlines. By spring 2024, the palace confirmed what many had feared: a cancer diagnosis, unspecified in type, but unrelenting in its hold. Suddenly, the once constant public presence of Charles became sporadic. He stepped back from the relentless glare of royal duties, yet even in absence, his spirit lingered through recorded messages, carefully curated appearances, and symbolic gestures that reminded the world he was still very much at the helm. Enter Prince William, the ever-steady Prince of Wales, absorbing responsibilities like a sponge in a storm. From high-profile Earthshot Prize galas to solemn D-Day commemorations, his schedule grew heavier by the month, each engagement doubling as preparation for the day he would take centre stage on his own. Sources close to the family, speaking off the record to outlets such as The Times, painted an intimate picture. Late-night strategy sessions at Adelaide Cottage, William meticulously reviewing briefings while Catherine quietly balanced the scales with her trademark composure and elegance. This handover wasn't sudden or chaotic. It was architectural, designed brick by brick, step by deliberate step. Consider the summer of 2025, when Charles, in a rare joint address with William at a Commonwealth summit, offered veiled nods to passing the torch. Every word, every glance, hinted at a transition both visible and hidden, a careful orchestration that signalled the monarchy's next act was already in motion. The words spoken were velvet-gloved, but the intent beneath them was crystal clear. William's portfolio had expanded far beyond ceremonial duties: foreign affairs, environmental policy, and even subtle nods to defence briefings that had once been the sole domain of the sovereign now fell under his watchful eye. And Catherine, her role evolved just as strikingly, from consort to confidant-in-chief, a steady anchor in a storm of shifting responsibilities. Her courageous cancer recovery in 2024 forged a resilience that now strengthens and bolsters every stride William takes. Together, they have become the monarchy's forward guard, testing waters and navigating arenas that Charles once faced alone. Yet what makes this transition truly compelling isn't just the scope of their duties, it's the personal toll, the human poetry hidden beneath the pomp. Insiders reveal that William's absorption of responsibility isn't merely dutiful, it's fueled by fierce protectiveness. He watches his father confront not only illness, but the inexorable passage of time, knowing every moment matters. One former courtier confided to Vanity Fair, "Every handshake William offers now carries the echo of Charles's lessons: duty without distance, Rule with heart. This Windsor welcome, then, is far from an isolated event. It's a living testament to a dynasty in motion, a symbolic rehearsal for a reign that is quietly, inexorably shifting toward the next generation. Every gesture, every measured smile speaks of preparation, purpose, and the weight of legacy being carried forward with both precision and grace. This is the culmination of a quiet coronation in waiting, a moment where William's authority over the throne asserts itself, not through proclamation, but through decisive deeds. As the Kuwaiti Crown Prince's motorcade rolled toward those ancient Windsor gates, it felt less like a routine courtesy call and more like William planting his flag firmly on history's hill, a subtle claim to the future unfolding before the world's eyes. And with Catherine's knowing glance steady at his side, the message was unmistakable. The future isn't coming, it has arrived. It knocks politely, yes, but insistently, demanding recognition. Dawn broke over Windsor that fateful September afternoon, the kind of golden light that gilds the castle's towers, as though the stones themselves sensed the significance of the day. Prince William, at 43, strode forward with the poise of a man who had spent a lifetime training for this precise moment. There was no overwhelming entourage, just him, Catherine, and a handful of aides. The simplicity of their approach was a deliberate counterpoint to the grandeur looming behind them, a visual statement that authority doesn't need excess to command respect. The Kuwaiti Crown Prince arrived in a sleek convoy, flags fluttering proudly, signaling alliance and diplomacy. William was ready, hand extended, smile steady, offering the kind of welcome that balanced warmth with unmistakable command. "Welcome to Windsor, Your Highness," he said, his voice carrying across the gravel with the quiet confidence of a seasoned host. Protocol was flawless, yet the room told a deeper story. This was hosting with heft, a demonstration that the throne's future was no longer a distant concept. It was alive, deliberate, and unmistakably William's to shape. The air seemed charged with the weight of the sovereign's shadow, every corner of Windsor sensing the shift. Catherine, in a striking cobalt dress that mirrored the skies above, embodied the soft power that perfectly complements William's steel-like presence. Her curtsy was effortless, her conversation flowing with ease, a testament to diplomatic finesse honed over years of global tours and careful observation. Together, they projected unity, authority, and elegance in equal measure. The trio retreated to private quarters, but not before cameras caught every telling gesture. William led with quiet assurance, guiding the visitors toward the staterooms, his posture radiating command without need for words. Royal correspondent Rebecca English, live tweeting from the scene, noted the electric undercurrent, the staff's deferential attention, once reserved exclusively for Charles, now extending to William with unmistakable clarity. Lunch followed in the grand reception room, menus blending classic British fare with subtle nods to Kuwaiti tastes. The conversation wove seamlessly between trade agreements, climate initiatives, and shared philanthropic ventures. William drove the dialogue, citing Earthshot initiatives and highlighting joint Gulf Britain projects, bridging cultures with his characteristic vision and precision. Yet it is the symbolism that lingers longest. Windsor Castle, with its thousand-year whispers of kings and conquerors, has seen countless rulers pass through its halls, but this visit pulsed with modernity. The Kuwaiti Crown Prince, heir to an oil-rich powerhouse, represented the Britain that must navigate a post-Brexit world, strategic, connected, and forward-looking. And at the centre of it all, William's role as host spoke volumes. Here was a prince not simply following tradition, but shaping the future, balancing ceremony with influence, and signalling that the monarchy's next era was quietly, decisively underway. It's no accident that every moment felt meticulously orchestrated. Palace briefings confirm that William personally oversaw the entire itinerary, ensuring each engagement carried meaning beyond protocol. From leisurely garden walks where discussions turned to sustainability to formal toasts on mutual security, every interaction was a display of careful authority. Catherine added her voice seamlessly, speaking on women's empowerment, a subtle thread drawing the room together, weaving influence with elegance. As they parted ways, hands clasped once more, the air vibrated with unspoken accords. This wasn't mere pageantry, it was power projected. William's first unscripted flex in the throne's antechamber, and as the gates closed behind the departing guest, Windsor itself seemed to shrink just slightly, as though making space for the king to come. Yet the real reveal awaited not in stone halls, but in pixels. Zoom in on those Windsor hours, and the nuances unfold like a perfectly rehearsed overture. William's welcome wasn't flashy. It was fortified. Every gesture, every glance, every step underscored his growing gravitas. The official Instagram reel captured it all, amassing over 1 million views within hours. Sweeping drone shots of the castle gave way to William standing at the entrance, the wind tousling his hair just so. "A pleasure to host His Highness at Windsor," the caption read. But the subtext shouted volumes: authority, confidence, and the quiet claim of a throne in waiting. Noticeably absent was any direct mention of Charles, whose absence hung in the air like a deliberate, purposeful void. The video's narration, delivered in William's measured, resonant baritone, emphasized the strengthening of bonds in uncertain times, a line that landed with the weight of true statecraft, signaling leadership without overt declaration. Inside, the talks turned deeply substantive. Sources leaked that security cooperation topped the agenda, with William advocating for joint counter-terrorism frameworks, his military background lending authenticity and authority to every word. Catherine, ever the empath, steered the conversation toward humanitarian angles, highlighting Kuwait's aid in global crises. Their synergy was unmistakable, a dance of equals that elevated the entire encounter. Observers noted moments where William deferred to her insight, a subtle display of partnership and respect that left the Kuwaiti crown prince reportedly quipping that the future shone bright here, a compliment that rippled instantly through diplomatic channels. Yet it was the off-camera whispers that intrigued most. Palace insiders hinted that this visit served as a litmus test. Charles, observing from afar, allowed William full command of the floor, eager to see his son take charge. And take charge he did. The day concluded with a private tour of the castle's conservation efforts, tying back to William's environmental ethos and reinforcing his emerging role as steward not only of tradition, but of progress. As dusk settled over Windsor, the farewell carried unspoken promises, future summits, deeper diplomatic ties, and a quiet consolidation of authority. Walking away, William and Catherine exchanged a glance, the kind that speaks volumes, a silent acknowledgement of battles won quietly, with elegance, purpose, and measured power. This diplomatic ballet wasn't merely about Kuwait, it was William's manifesto in motion, authority asserted not through decree, but through alliance, collaboration, and presence. The throne's power, once a distant abstraction, now feels tangible, etched into every handshake, every exchanged pleasantry, every measured glance across the polished halls of Windsor. By evening, screens around the world lit up as Kensington Palace released a video that felt less like a formal announcement and more like a quiet confession. Clocking in at just 3 intimate minutes, it carried the warmth and intimacy of a fireside chat. William and Catherine sat in what appeared to be Adelaide Cottage's sun-drenched study, bookshelves framing them like stoic sentinels of continuity and stability. No crowns, no scepters, just 2 figures in soft sweaters, the fire crackling gently behind them, the scene radiating authenticity. "Today was a milestone," William began, his blue eyes locking on the camera, steady and sincere, not merely a welcome, but a declaration of trust, of readiness to carry weighty responsibilities. Catherine brushed her hand against his in a gesture small yet seismic, embodying the quiet partnership that has become central to their shared vision. "It's about stepping forward together," she added, her voice calm and grounded, tempered by the resilience she forged during her recovery. Charles isn't named outright, but the shift in authority hangs palpably in the room. William describes it as a natural evolution, guided by both wisdom and necessity. "The Crown's duties have always adapted," he continues, "and now, more than ever, we're embracing that flow." The words are candid, almost vulnerable, but they carry an undeniable weight. The quiet assertion of a prince ready to claim his place, alongside a consort whose strength amplifies every move he makes. The couple reflected on how moments like the Windsor hosting weren't merely ceremonial. They were carefully laying the groundwork for what was to come. The genius of the video lay in its restraint. No overt displays of power, no grand proclamations, just subtle hints threaded through personal anecdotes. William recalled a childhood lesson from Charles about leading with quiet strength, while Catherine shared how family anchors them amid the shifting tides of duty and expectation. Overnight, Views surged past 5 million, with comments pouring in, brimming with awe, admiration and anticipation. Royal analyst Robert Jobson described it as a velvet glove over an iron fist, a signal of preparation without presumption. This wasn't scripted royalty. It was real-time revelation, a window into a couple humanizing the inexorable march toward ascension. As the clip faded on their shared smile, one truth crystallized. The question wasn't if, but when, and they were ready, hand in unyielding hand. Those 3 minutes were a cipher, each word a breadcrumb leading viewers closer to the throne room's door. William's talk of greater responsibilities wasn't empty rhetoric. It was deliberate foreshadowing. Tied to reports of Charles's health plateauing and his public role shrinking from substance to symbol, the video hinted at a fast-approaching transition. The Windsor milestone, understated yet profound, became a beacon that experts and royal watchers pounced upon, dissecting every line, every glance, for signs of the monarchy quietly, inexorably shifting into the next generation's hands. It's code for contingency planning, notes Ingrid Seward in Majesty magazine, highlighting how William's solo diplomatic maneuvers echo the pre-coronation steps Charles took in the 1980s. But it's not just about strategy. Catherine's contributions add depth and dimension. Her emphasis on together underscores a dual reign model where consort evolves into co-architect, a partner shaping policy and influence alongside her husband. Insiders buzz about private councils where the couple meticulously strategizes post-child scenarios, everything from streamlining the royal firm to amplifying youth-centered causes. The timing of the video, released just after the Windsor welcome, amplifies the signal. Host today, helm tomorrow. Sensational outlets speculate on potential timelines, some pegging 2026 if health concerns accelerate, others suggesting a later transition, yet the message is clear. Urgency is tempered with composure and grace. William's gaze in the video's final frame conveys a rare mix of resolve and hesitation, the visible weight of legacy pressing down. These hints are not mere teasers, they are torches, illuminating a path where power transfers not in crisis, but through calm, deliberate continuity. The crown awaits, and the video whispers its promise. Beneath the diplomacy, policy, and carefully decoded dialogue beats a more intimate truth: family. William's growing authority isn't an abstract exercise in power. It's anchored in the cottage chaos of 3 children navigating life under the spotlight: George, now 12, Charlotte, 10, and Louis, 7. Their lives a carefully curated bubble within the palace bubble, a microcosm of normalcy amid royal expectation. Every decision, every gesture carries both public weight and private tenderness, binding the future of the monarchy to the very human rhythms of parenthood. The Windsor event, with its controlled pomp and meticulous choreography, perfectly modelled the balance William and Catherine crave: duty without letting it devour normalcy. Catherine's line in the video about anchoring amid the tide resonates here, her own health journey serving as a vivid reminder that even crowns can crack under unchecked pressure. This shift redefines the monarchy itself. William's steady, unrivaled stance signals a leaner, more agile institution, reflecting his earthshot ethos: efficiency over excess, impact over ornamentation. Gone are sprawling households and ceremonial bloat. In their place, streamlined teams, digital outreach initiatives, and causes that matter take precedence. Catherine, the modernizer, pushes inclusivity. Her early years initiatives hint at a Queen's agenda rooted in the grassroots, not gilded halls. Insiders describe Forest Lodge as a quiet nexus, a Windsor haven where the children ride bikes freely, blending playdates with lessons in protocol. Yet the scars of the past linger. Charles's battles and personal trials have forged a profound empathy in William, a king in waiting who will rule with his father's green heart, yet tempered with his mother's warmth. The video's rare vulnerability acts as a balm for a public long weary of aloofness. This family is at the forefront of change, demonstrating that royalty can evolve without fracturing. Power is being wielded for the people, not for pageantry, a tangible promise that the next chapter will honour tradition while embracing the modern world. It's a monarchy poised not just to survive, but to resonate. Its revolutionary restraint, a monarchy in the midst of metamorphosis, wings quietly unfolding under Windsor's storied skies. As the golden light fades and the echoes of that pivotal day settle into memory, one image blazes bright. William and Catherine, shoulder to shoulder, standing not merely at the gates of a castle, but on the very edge of a new royal era. This wasn't just a diplomatic courtesy or a fleeting video drop. It was a clarion call, the monarchy's heartbeat quickening as it steps into transformation. The Crown Prince of Kuwait's visit, with William as the poised and resolute host, was nothing less than a rehearsal for the throne, a stage where authority met authenticity. Catherine, unwavering and commanding in her quiet way, didn't simply complement the moment, she co-crafted it. Her subtle strength became a cornerstone of this evolving narrative. Together, they've signaled a shift that is at once seismic and subtle, a crown poised to pass not through chaos, but through a choreography of deliberate grace. The weight of their intent lingers long after the cameras fade. That 3-minute video, raw and unguarded, wasn't merely a peek behind the curtain. It was a manifesto, a promise that the monarchy's future will blend heritage with humanity, tradition with tenderness. William's words, measured yet piercing, conveyed the cadence of a man aware of the throne's lengthening shadow and the responsibilities it carries. Catherine's contributions, soft yet steel-clad, wove partnership into the narrative, hinting at a reign where king and queen share not just titles, but vision, a monarchy prepared for tomorrow, anchored in today and resolute in purpose. Its policy in motion, a vow to raise heirs who understand the world beyond the scepter. This family-first ethos, paired with a conscious move away from living staff, paints a vivid picture of a royal household that feels less like a fortress and more like a home. It's a gamble, yes, but a calculated one, betting that relatability and openness will restore faith in an institution too often accused of aloofness. The public response? Electric. Social feeds pulse with praise, from William's measured readiness to Catherine's quiet authority, hailed by many as the queen we need. Skeptics murmur about traditions eroding, but this is the threshold, a monarchy reborn, not through pomp, but through purpose, rooted firmly in Windsor's soil, yet with a gaze firmly global. William hosting with poise, Catherine resolute at his side, their shared candour shaping every handshake, every word. They aren't just stepping up, they're redefining what stepping up even means. Charles's reign bridged eras. Now the pen passes to a couple ready to write a story of duty laced with empathy. The crown waits, its weight lightened by partnership, its shine brightened by sincerity. So what's your take? Is this a monarchy revitalized, a beacon of balance in a fractured age, or a bold break that risks the throne's timeless mystique? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every word. Hit that like button if you're captivated by this royal rebrand. Share with your fellow crown chasers and subscribe to follow the next chapter of this unfolding saga. The throne isn't just near, it's here, and its pulse is undeniable. Stay with us as the drama deepens.